Congress moves forward with impeachment and cabinet confirmations. President Biden is focusing on the economy. Today, he'll sign an executive order increasing federal spending to American companies as the White House pushes a nearly $2 trillion COVID relief bill. For more on the new administration's plans, Biden economic advisor Jared Bernstein is here with us. Jared, thanks for being on. You know, there are already rules in place governing how taxpayer dollars can be spent and how many foreign products can be purchased. So what does this executive order do beyond that?
Well, those rules, which you're correct, have been in place for many decades, have largely been ignored. And there is a kind of just a proliferation of waivers that allow procurement folks to buy goods from other countries that really ought to be purchased here. So what the executive order proposes today is to close loopholes on how domestic content is measured, increase the domestic content requirements so that we're, when we say Buy American, we mean Buy American, put a senior position, reporting to the president in the Office of Management and Budget to oversee this Buy American executive order so that we get back on track. And one of my personal favorites is an expansion of a small agency within the Department of Commerce called the Manufacturing Extension Partnership, which helps some of our small manufacturers, which often have a great deal of difficulty connecting with international supply chains or figuring out how to meet procurement requirements. We're going to help them get some of these bids too.
And last week, President Biden unveiled a $1.9 trillion COVID relief plan. Now, some Republicans have already balked at that price tag. So what's the priority here? Going big, getting the GOP on board to achieve that bipartisanship we've heard the president stress? Or is it just about getting this done quickly, whatever way possible?
Well, certainly speed is really important, but I think your question, which is well taken, has a pretty simple answer. To rescue the American people from the struggling that they're undergoing with these two dual crises. Of course, the pandemic, which you've been talking about on your show, and its impact on the economy. And in fact, not only are those interconnected, but you can't solve the latter without solving the former. And President Biden has consistently pointed out that unless we get control of the virus through tracing, through testing, we're not going to be able to open schools. We're not going to be able to have businesses flourish the way they should. We're certainly not going to be able to have people get back to work at the levels we need them to do so. So we have to build a fiscal bridge to the other side of this crisis. Now, Congress made an important down payment in December, but if you actually time out how that relief is going to unfold, more is necessary to avoid hunger, to avoid evictions, to avoid unemployment benefits running out, and to make sure we get people the checks they need. Now, I know you've been talking about, the partisanship and the squabbling around here. What I can tell you from my own work on this in the last few weeks is that, in fact, there is a lot of urgency on both sides of the aisle. Just like Jen Psaki said, there's going to be negotiations. But not only have labor unions gotten behind this deal, but so has the Business Roundtable and the Chamber of Commerce. I mean, Trump's own chief economist has acknowledged the urgency of the rescue plan. So I think there's more here to meet the eye in terms of meeting the urgency of moment, controlling the virus, producing and distributing the vaccine, and providing necessary relief.
And Jared, just quickly, there was some frustration over the number of things in the last stimulus bill that had nothing to do with the pandemic. So is there any effort to keep this package focused solely on COVID, or is that just how the sausage gets made?
Look, I think it's really a matter of COVID and the economy and their dual interaction. So one thing that people have raised in that regard is the minimum wage. What does the minimum wage raising the minimum wage have to do with this? Well, it turns out that literally tens of millions of essential workers are still on the federal minimum wage, which is $7.25 an hour. Now, you and every one of our listeners know that whether you're a retail worker, a warehouse worker, a home health aide, you can't begin to make ends meet. Now, there are lots of states that have raised their minimum wage, and that's helpful, but there's some that haven't. So if we want to reach essential workers and pay low-wage workers their fair share, then we have to do that as well. I think I can defend every part of this bill, whether it's virus control, vaccination distribution, aid to states to open schools, or relief to households and businesses, as very much connected to solving these dual crises.
All right, Jared Bernstein, thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.